Are meme coins making a major resurgence within the crypto market? We're going to take a look at Dogecoin, Pepe, Shiba Inu, and every other meme coin you can think of. On today's show, we're going to be analyzing the charts, looking for opportunities to trade both today and leading into the new week. We're going to assess Bitcoin's weekly close, what that means for the week to come. We're also going to have a look at RUNE. You can see RUNE, if you look at the Banter Bubbles chart over here, has been absolutely pumping towards the upside, up already almost 20% just today alone, which is a huge move, and could be coming into resistance. Is it time to take profits, or is this the start of a major breakout for RUNE? We're going to assess this on today's show and a whole lot more, and I have some very special guests on today's show, which I will be bringing up in just a moment's time. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. On today's show, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to chill with each other. We're going to analyze charts. I'm going to need your help in the comment section as well. Start already preparing which charts you're looking at. Let me know in the comment section, are you long or short on which coin? And also give me the time frame. Very important. You have to put in the comment section the time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, and what you're looking at, long or short on that particular coin. We'll bring it up. We'll do chart requests. We'll do a whole bunch of things. So let's get straight into it. And the first thing that I noticed over here is, of course, RUNE. If you look at RUNE, big move up. It is coming into a key pivot level. You got this trend line over here showing a strong level of interest from the previous buys, broke that level down. Is it going to flip into resistance now? It's a real possibility. And then if you look at the broader range, this is the range, right? That was the prior range lows. Once you flip that and you hold above, well, then it could start to look very bullish. You also are contending with the 200-day moving average, which has been in a very strong, aggressive downtrend. Now, what do you expect when you look at coins like this? After a big move like that, it doesn't necessarily just shoot off into all-time highs straight from there, but instead, once that 200 moving average starts to flatten out, you would expect price to oscillate around that region, creating a new range until such time as there's a new base that's built on RUNE. So we're going to discuss that today. We're going to bring up some of the top traders. One of them is actually won the trading competition, not once, but twice. And he is none other than the beast from the Middle East. He's my good friend and he helps me in Discord. His name is Mo. How are you doing, Mo?
Hello, bro. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself? Yeah, Mo, you feel free to introduce yourself. How long have you been trading for? Tell them about the competition that you won. We're going to go through some of your strategies and what you're doing for this Bybit trading competition for the World Series of Trading. So off to you, and we'll bring up your charts as well.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been in crypto for 3 years. I started it just like a normal person who's buying and investing and all these kind of things. But then, the price, it's going up and then going down. And definitely there will be a way when you are losing money. It's just like to come up from these losses. And that was the way to trade the market. I started trading the market 2.5 years ago, aggressively, let's say for 1.5 years. I tried somehow to explore a lot of strategies or explore a lot of courses or take courses, and just like to keep developing and improving yourself. When we started talking in the beginning about stuff, it was like okay, I started trading. I like the way how exactly you are seeing the market, because there is nothing called it's bullish all the time or it's bearish all the time. It's just like you take it in a very realistic way, and this is where exactly we started and we matched there. So a few things that even when we started doing all these things on Discord, that thank you again for giving me this opportunity. But we started recently speaking about strategies, which is the intraday or the weekly range strategy. And there will be other stuff that also I'm going to talk about it, but all of it, it's literally related to a price action. I'm not bothering myself a lot with EMAs, Fibonacci, or these kind of things, or RSI and all these things. For me, indicators, it's more like I'm using it as a confluence for the trade, but it's not for the trade setup or the trade factor. So I can start just with a few things that I wanted to talk about, which is the price actions on what exactly I'm focusing on all the time, especially when I'm trading within the weekly range, is just a few price actions or a few patterns. The first one of them is when we are having like a downtrend. Usually the price, it goes in like, let's say, a boost and then a consolidate and then another leg down. There will be another price action that I'm looking at it, which is in an uptrend, as an example, which is we are moving with a leg, a boost, and then a consolidate, and then another leg, and then there will be like other stuff that I'm going to talk about it in more details here. And there will be also like, let's say, a pattern where the price, you're going to find it in this way, and then it creates for you this kind of W pattern, or like, let's say, double bottom or whatever it is. It might be identical, it might be like a little bit to the downside or to the upper side, but what I care about, it's always like the nose, which is like, this is how exactly I'm trading it, or I'm trying to find how exactly the price after like it takes this leg up, how exactly it's reacting on these levels.
So you just said you call it the nose. Are you talking about the W formation pattern where you have that secondary low that swipes the previous guys out on the left there? Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly, yeah. You're going to take the lows. Sometimes it goes in this way, like it doesn't take the lows.
Yeah, a little bit of a higher low, yeah. Is this something that you just spoke about on RUNE? Because maybe you could just bring up the RUNE chart if it is applicable to that, because RUNE's been pumping, so...
So this is RUNE, and like just something that again, like you're gonna have a look at it on the hourly basis. It's very clean. I will never look like, let's say, to short such a move. Actually, what exactly you need to look at it is just to join this pump and to join the move, and you can see how exactly the price it's moving in a leg up and then a cluster or a consolidation and then another leg up. So what exactly you're gonna look at it, it's all the time that, oh, I'm gonna like, let's say, either join this breakout of the cluster, or it can be like, let's say, again, a retest here for this cluster, a retest here, and this is where exactly you need to take it up more and more. So usually what's exactly happening to the price, it takes this leg and then again consolidate and then another leg and then consolidate and another leg. But looking at the daily, it's not showing any weakness like here. The first part, it was like, okay, I'm tapping this level, which is the 1.08, if I'm not mistaken, 1.1. This is where exactly we talked about it, like, oh, if it's going to break the trend, then in that time I will be looking for shorts. Otherwise, if I'm going to look at it, this is what exactly you see. You have this uptrend, and you are approaching this level where exactly we broke down from it. Either I'm going to look for the price really to show me, like, let's say, a weakness, either an M pattern, or preferably to deviate above the trend and then to go back, and preferably even to look like, let's say, for a real weakness or a downtrend where exactly I'm going to be looking for shorts. But before that, yeah, like the price is moving up. And if I'm going to look at it from a monthly range perspective, you have these two lines in blue where exactly you have this mid-range and you got an acceptance. Actually, you have even a perfect retest for it on the hourly basis or the 4 hours also, and this is a continuation. So I'm going to be patient looking for such a stuff if I'm going to short, like, let's say, RUNE. But for me, like, yeah, you could easily like take the trade on the hourly basis, and just like you will be looking for these kind of longs. We're going to talk about it even in Doge, but this is where exactly you will be looking for such a trade. I'm going to enter.
Is this for if there was an opportunity that presented itself for long today? Is this what you're showing, or when it pulls back?
Yeah, no, yeah, when it's gonna pull back, I'm gonna look how exactly the price it's reacting on these levels, specifically on this consolidation, because this is like the mid of the range and also this consolidation level, and this is what I will be looking at. But again, you could just like all the time just see how exactly the price is reacting. But the moment that you will see these kind of, like, let's say, movement in the price, don't look for shorts, especially if it's consolidating. If you want to look for shorts on these kind of price action, what exactly you need to look at it, it's specifically this type of price action where you go
because
up.
Of course, yeah, now it's just creating bull flag after bull flag. This is something, guys, remember, we cover this a lot. Anytime you have a big move up and price just consolidates and moves sideways, it's probably gearing up, just pausing and preparing for the next major move up. You need to see a proper break of structure, which Mo will go over right now.
Yeah. So the price usually, how exactly it's going to start breaking down, the moment that you will go up, you do the consolidation, and then you go another move to the upper side, and then you will have a consolidate. You might have a retest here. but you will not have an acceptance above this consolidation, or you might have an acceptance above it and then a breakdown where exactly you will be looking for these kind of shorts in order to, like, it's a change of character or a change of from having, like, let's say, higher highs. And then, but another important point where exactly like in such a price action, which is really important not to look for shorts, because it's like adding oil on the fire, right, or fuel on the fire, where shorts
because if they get squeezed out, they're market buying. Now you're adding market buys into a strong trending price action chart, and that's going to just lead to major squeezes towards the upside. So basically what you're saying is right now, look for on RUNE, you wouldn't be looking to short it, but if anything, you'll just be monitoring opportunities on consolidations to potentially get in on a low time frame long trade.
Like, whenever I'm seeing like a price action, it's moving in this way. I marked already a level where I will be interested in looking at RUNE when the moment that it's gonna retest, if it's gonna retest, like, let's say, these levels, but also these consolidations we talked about it.
Can you zoom in like a whole lot more for that explanation, just to show where your levels of interest would be if it got to those zones to potentially take a long?
Sure. So the first part is gonna be if I'm gonna have a retest for this mid-range, which is the blue line. That's the first part. And this,
what price level is that at?
Which is like a 1.232, and then like it's between 1.23 and 1.266. That's the price. And like another part where exactly you need to look at it, the price, it moved and it got acceptance above the monthly open. So realistically, you need, like, let's say, to see really a massive weakness in the price. Give me, like, let's say, a short opportunity. Maybe I will be looking at it, and like, this is not like something that you really want to look at shorting it. It could be like just if it's gonna confirm a deviation above this range, then that I will be considering it deviation, and then I will short it. But other than this, if it's gonna give me a retrace somewhere here, like, I will be looking at it, or give me just a breakdown of this level and get acceptance above, I will be also joining, like, let's say, the rest of the move. But it's very critical to short these kind of price movements, which is, we call it, like, in trading, the hook. And it's like, why I'm gonna short it? No, actually, I'm gonna look to long it more than shorting it.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. That's a great analysis over there. We do also have one additional person, which is sitting in the waiting room over here. He's no stranger to most of you. I think he called himself the carpenter before the show. I don't know what that means, if it means anything to you guys. And I'm going to dox him. I'm going to dox him today. It's not Fred. It's not Fred, but it's someone that's part of the family. Please smash the like button, fam. Smash the like button, because he is Josh the Trader in the flesh. There he is, Josh the Trader. Welcome, bro. How are you?
Yo, what's up, man? Very nice to meet you. I mean, Carl, I feel like I've known you my entire life. Very nice to finally, and thank you so much for exposing my identity. Always super exciting. Yeah, cool, guys. What's up? My name is Josh the Trader. Been trading for about, I think, going on like 3 weeks now. So I think we have some exciting
You
setups.
see, he can't even keep his AirPods in his ears. The 3 weeks of trading is all over the place. Okay, he's obviously exaggerating, guys. Josh has obviously run his streams. Many of you who are loyal followers of the show and family to us obviously would have seen his shows in the Discord. So he basically built and runs the Discord, and he trades as well. So that just to bring you up to speed. But Josh, what are you looking at? What are you looking at in the markets? What do you see? Have you got any trade setups that you want to share with the guys?
Yeah, man, I think we'll do some trade setups. I said before the show, any single trade, guys, and this is for everyone in the community as well. Any single trade setup that Carl gives on the show, I'm going to take live on the show. So no pressure on Carl, but let's have some fun with it, okay?
Okay, let's have some fun, guys. We'll put some music on, some chilled music. Let's look for some setups if we can find anything. I don't know who wants to start off. Do you guys have anything that you had your eye on, or any of you want to stick your hand up and show what you're looking at?
I do believe we can just start with a few minutes just speaking about the intraday strategy or the weekly strategy. I do believe it's going to give like a good explanation for people on just how we are trading it, or how because we spoke about the pattern. So I can just like easily go to Doge.
Okay, let's go to Doge. The meme coins have obviously been something of interest within the market lately, and these narratives do tend to build steam. We're not calling a major bull market on meme coins by any means, but if there is liquidity there, interest from the market that's coming into those coins, that brings new liquidity, and you want to trade in line with liquidity. That's where you're able to get your orders filled, catch some quick moves, some momentum, and you're in and out. Because when it comes to this trading competition, let's just be honest, the market is absolutely dead flat boring, and we really need to look for these little narrative plays. And to be honest with you, probably have to start trading these competitions on higher leverage as well. Obviously, leverage kills like speed kills as well. But it is the reality of the matter. I mean, I've been in a 10x Bitcoin trade, and believe it or not, the max P&L that I've seen on that trade is 1%. This is kind of the nature of the market right now. So my account at the moment, I'll bring it up. I'm up 2.87%. So nothing mind-boggling over here. But I'm going to have to start turning up the leverage to start getting some momentum in this competition and to get some trades. For now, as Mo will tell you, because we obviously chat every day. We speak actually every day about our trades and what we're looking at, kind of the way that you need to do it to win these competitions. And he's one to speak to because he's won 2 of these competitions. What you need to do is slowly compound for the first week or so, which is what we've been doing. And once you have around 5, 6, 7% profit, you can now start to risk that profit on much higher leverage, so you don't damage the account or experience any drawdown, and then you can start taking on more risk. So we've been slowly building from 3 to 5x leverage up to 10, and now we're going to start risking this capital to get bigger and bigger moves. But off to you, Mo.
Sure. So starting from this intraday or the weekly strategy, it goes like literally in both ways. We take it for longs and also we take it for shorts. But what's exactly important is you can easily like use an indicator, which is called like Spaceman BTC. It's a free indicator where it marks for you like Monday high, and it marks for you the weekly open and monthly low. What I like in this strategy, that always like I would like to leave Monday, like let's say, to form a range. And whenever like I'm having this kind of range, this is where exactly I will start looking again to the same patterns that we were talking about. It's like a move up, or like let's say a consolidation and then another move up. So I have like let's say the first range, it might be here, and then this is the second one. If you're gonna look in details what exactly happened here, this is Monday. What exactly we moved here, it's Tuesday. Usually I use like let's say the first 2 to 4 hours, like let's say just to look at the price. So I have these 2 hours on Tuesday, like let's say I have it at 4 a.m. The day of the trading it starts, and just because it's Dubai time. But then
can you zoom in about 50 times into that section just so we can see it properly? It's very small on our side.
Is it good now?
A little bit more.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now we can see.
So I have this. This is where exactly the day it starts for me. This is 4 a.m. and I will be looking for the first like let's say 2 to 4 hours how exactly the price it's moving. And this is the price where...
Is it just to clarify? You're showing us the intraday strategy right now.
Exactly. The intraday
okay, guys, the intraday strategy, we've spoken about it a whole lot in the Discord. Many of you asked for an explanation, a video explanation or visual explanation, and many of you have already been using it to take trades on a day-to-day basis and making a whole lot of money from that. So for those of you who don't know, this is exactly what Mo's explaining. It's based on the timing sessions within the day, and you're using that Spaceman range tool. It's called Spaceman. Just quickly go over it again. Spaceman BTC, right? What is it?
Yeah, you can just do it manually, or you can use this indicator.
Cool.
Both of them helps. Like usually I do it like let's say manually, but still you can do it like if you want something quicker to do it. So we focus on the first 2 to 4 hours, and this is where exactly you start seeing the price that it's getting like let's say a price movement above the daily open on Tuesday. And as you can see, like the price, it's ranging here, which is we call it a cluster. So what exactly I'm going to look for it's mainly either a move and then a cluster and then another leg, or I'm going to be looking for another leg and then a retest and a continuation. The moment that you start seeing this price, all you need to do is just like to think for another leg. And this is where exactly you're going to, let's say, if I'm going to take the breakout, like let's say long, my stop loss definitely it's going to be under this cluster, and I will be riding it. If the price went back here, this is the typical, like let's say stuff where exactly Kylie, you all the time keep advising everyone, and this is something that I use to do it all the time, that if I'm gonna, like let's say, take a position here as an example, I will leave a second position or a third position if I'm gonna, the price is gonna come back to retest this zone. So I will have, like let's say, a second buy or a third buy that it's gonna come here, and I will be riding the whole wave. So what exactly happened with the price? Came, retest, and then again another acceptance, retest, another acceptance. So I'm just riding the wave. What exactly I'm gonna be targeting? Literally, it's first of all TP on the weekly level, which is like the weekly open, and you have Monday high. That's the first part where exactly you will be having it. And these are not, like let's say, small moves. We are talking about here something around 3 or 3.5% where exactly you are doing it in a day, right? So absolutely, it's a good move. Like keep the moment that you define your risk and where exactly you're gonna get stopped out. That's what's exactly important on these kind of things. Now, the same way of how exactly we look for longs, also we look for shorts. But usually what we look for shorts, it's always like preferably to use either a monthly open or a Monday high. That's where exactly I will start to look for shorts. But on the other side, this is another thing, like what you have here, you have a cluster. The price is going to come back. It's going to retest this cluster. You can take a little bit aggressive short from these kind of levels, especially that it's losing, like let's say the daily open, but your stop loss literally is going to be strict here. And then after that, if the price is moving down, you take the TPs all the way on lower levels. But pretty much like you need just to wait for Monday range to form, and this is where exactly you're going to start finding these kind of clusters or these kind of price action on the upper side, and also on the lower side where exactly things it's gonna take another pattern. So that's pretty much like, just keep it simple. It works on 5 minutes, it works on 15 minutes, but it's something I use it a lot, like as an intraday strategy. If I'm taking 2 to 3 trades like during the week, that's pretty much, especially when we have like a very boring price action, the same of what exactly we have now.
Yeah, so we'll drop it again in the Discord. There was a full explanation with each step of the way, what you need to be looking for and what you need to do to execute on this trade. But essentially, you're waiting. It works best when the new week begins and you have the Monday high and Monday low. Now you know what you can work with. And do you want to show them with the 50 MA as well, where you put the 50 MA in, because obviously that's part of the strategy.
What we added, yes, this is a more as a confluence again. I kept saying it like moving averages for me, it's lagging indicators, but that's pretty much of what exactly you will see here. Price is getting acceptance even above, like let's say the 15 minutes, but that's the thing where you need somehow to get your entries like a little bit earlier, but you can see it every single time. I'm getting an acceptance above the 50. You can say that, oh, retest, but I'm not losing the 50 EMA. But that's the thing. It's a little bit lagging. So sometimes you're going to find that, oh, the price it's losing it, but it's not closing under it. But still the price it's in up movement. But you can rely on the EMAs just like more confluence. But the trade setup, the moment that you find this kind of clusters, the moment that the price it's bouncing from, again, above like toward like from Monday low, or sometimes it might like just do for you this kind of things and get back above Monday low, and then it continues. So you take these lows and then you come back above Monday low and you continue the move. So that's pretty much about it. The same it goes on the upper side, and again for shorting it goes to the lower side, but it's just a specific pattern. You can stick to it. It's just like these kind of patterns and nothing else. That's really good to focus on it during trading the intraday strategy.
Awesome. And Josh, what about you, bro? What have you been looking at?
Yeah, well, just to touch on the Doge thing, I think the guys who've been watching my stream on like the Banter Hub, you know, we've had like quite a messy relationship with Doge in the past couple of weeks, right? It's been short, been bearish, but it does seem to be playing around, like specifically on this. I would like to get like Mo's opinion about Doge, like midterm. Do you think we are going to start tackling and clear those highs? Do you think we start breaking down to see maybe into that 60 cent region, that 70 cent region again? before I go on a whole spiel about Doge, because
that's more on what for the medium time frame. What looking at like the 4-hour, 8-hour daily. What time frame?
This is the daily. Yeah, I do agree with you, Josh. I think we spoke about it before, but still, like what exactly you are creating, it's like again lower lows and lower highs, and yeah, we might have like, let's say a throwback where this is a place where exactly I might be interested in seeing how exactly the price is reacting toward these levels. But as long as you are creating a lower lows, and I don't see like an impulsive move of how exactly you see, like, let's say it's happened with the RUNE, right? But these kind of 5-6 like aggressive daily candles, this is just a shy move that it might get just like faded. And again, all these levels, it's a resistance. We have this level, it's resistant. This level is resistance, and a little bit, you can consider even this is a deviation, right? The price, it went above and then it came back, and you can just like start looking for shorts. So that's pretty much on how I see it. It's not an aggressive move. I still do believe that, yeah, on a higher time frame, I'll be looking for lower levels.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I had on Doge. I haven't actually changed the LARP lines that we made from one of the previous shows. So quite interesting to see how it's played out. But we were looking at something like this: first move over the 200-day moving average, lose that, deviate, get back above, hold that level. As long as it holds above this 200-day moving average, you start to open up the possibility for a potential new range, with this being the next major key level coming in around that between, let's say, 88 and 92 cents. So let's call it, I think, Josh, you just mentioned that 90 cents level. That is a real possibility. I think that you're starting to change the structure over here. You have higher highs and potentially having this as your next high low, meaning that if this is the next major push up, it could go into that 90 cents level. That's more like, over the medium time frame. That could play out over the rest of August, possibly into September. But yeah, Josh, let's go into your screen.
Yeah, I mean, I have a slightly different take on Dogecoin. I'm just looking at how history is particularly repeating with this chart, right? It seems as if, specifically talking about what Mo was saying on the daily time frame, I mean, Doge is kind of like in this downtrend where it just continues to print bear flag after bear flag. And obviously, once again, something that I have been talking about for a while is previously, you look in January where we had this big consolidation to the upside, that quick squeeze, reaching for that liquidity, and then starting to dump back down. It just continued to print out this pattern. I think the reason why Doge is pretty dangerous shorting is because you have like a lot of external factors and like fundamentals in it right now. I mean, you have the Twitter thing, which I think is getting a lot of retail involved into it. And then obviously now you're also seeing on the daily, which, I mean, we can talk about for a bit, is Pepe pumping, Shiba pumping, like these other meme coins pumping. And, on paper, that makes it seem as if Doge should be the next one to pump. Or maybe this is as a result of Doge's previous pump. But for me, I don't think right now it's in such a tradable position, especially on the timeframes that I like to trade with. I'm kind of looking at this. I would like to see Doge start to crack above that 8.1 cents, so 0.081, and hold above that level before I start to look into any long positions. And of course, the short positions for me come, with the break of this trend here, and then starting to find acceptance below this region again. Okay, I mean, we got faked out a little bit over a year. We were talking about it on Discord. I gave a few trade setups on it. But I'm hoping for something like this on Doge to start breaking down, get acceptance below this level, and then I can start riding it down to my multiple take profit regions. I mean, I'd say as low as 60 cents, right? If history repeats itself with regards to these previous patterns right here. I mean, I'd first target that 70-cent region, which I do think Doge will go to in the short term. And then I'm looking at 60 cents. Then I'm looking at 60 cents as the next level.
I've got on mine, I have about 68 cents as if it does start to come back down. I got 68 cents as the main support. I think this is the thing, in trading, you have to determine a lot of things within price. Is price captured within a range? Is price captured in a new trend? And remember, you can have a trend within a range depending on what time frames you're looking at. So there's a whole lot of things that you have to consider. Obviously, patterns like the bear flags, which constantly repeat. But also, it's important to consider the market cycle, the overall market cycle. Where are you within the cycle? And it's something that I had brought up before. Let's quickly go through to my Twitter. I think it's pinned still there from ages ago. But looking at the timing cycle, you would expect that going into this 1 year before the halving is around the 13th of May, give or take, that time period changes. You're looking for price action to form some sort of a base or reaccumulation phase leading into that halving. So we are already over here towards September now. So that means that most probably a lot of the coins are not going to be going into strong uptrends yet, but more they're moving from a kangaroo type of market, range bound, slowly reaccumulating, and then going into a trending market at a later stage. So yeah, that's kind of one thing that I also think is super important when it comes to looking at these markets. And you can see it with the 200-day moving average. It's always something useful if you look back historically. I mean, look, this is obviously doesn't have that much price history, but you expect price to flatten out and then chop around for quite a long period of time before you get that next absolutely massive, enormous move up. Now, you might not ever get something like this on Doge. I mean, guys, you have to consider what the market cap was here versus what the market cap of Doge is right now. It's unrealistic to expect that you're going to get another pump. Well, I mean, what did this pump do from bottom to top? Is 10,600%. I mean, that's insane. 10,600%, probably not going to get things like that. So kind of just trade it carefully when you do consider going into these meme coins. Don't put your whole house into them.
Carl, what do you think? Do you think Doge still remains on top now that Pepe is coming to the market, or do you think the hype on Doge is kind of wearing out?
When you say on top, do you mean in terms of like on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, the rankings as per market cap?
Maybe that, but more specifically how they go up against each other, right? Like Ethereum BTC chart, your Pepe Doge chart. Where do you think's the better place or the more likely place to be more upside?
Always the new stuff. I think you can just go look back at the market cap of different coins. There's one of these like way back machines, I think is what they call it, where you can look at what's happened historically. It's always just BTC and ETH that's remained, and somehow XRP has stayed on that list. But otherwise, if you look at the way those coins transition in the rankings, is unbelievable. This is why, guys, you want to be so careful when you tackle this market as an investor. A lot of money can be lost within the crypto market as an investor because there's increasing supply of new coins that keep coming into the market, and they all promise to change the world. They all have these promises, that they're the next best thing. And I know even Mo told me in private once how badly wrecked he got on a couple of the coins that he held, which is why he went into more trader mode, and that's been working quite well. So from my personal perspective, all the other coins that I play are just short-term opportunities to stack more Bitcoin. Yes, you can debate Ethereum's probably also maybe a good hold, but even that, I don't want a bigger Ethereum position than Bitcoin. The way I treat it is, and not financial advice, I'm mostly a Bitcoin person, and then anything else is just fun and games to get more Bitcoin. So to answer your question, Josh, yeah, I think Pepe will be bigger than Doge leading up into the new run. I just think that obviously market participants seek the new fun thing and they get bored of the old thing. And I do think Elon will do something with Doge in X.com or Twitter X, whatever we want to call this platform now. He'll probably integrate some sort of payment system. But there was a very interesting tweet that was made months ago. I'll need to find it, but the tweet went something like this: it's better when you let your imagination run wild before the announcement. By the time the announcement is made that Doge is being integrated into Twitter, your imagination can't run wild anymore. The market participants' imagination can't run wild. And therefore, it's probably at that point, it's over, like the top's in.
Yeah, price then.
Yeah, then it's over. So let the market participants' imaginations run wild on these new coins, and those are probably the ones that will run the most. But should we have a look at Pepe? Have any of you got a Pepe chart over there? Let's see what Pepe is doing.
Yeah, I have one over here. I know Mo has a very interesting thesis and about the nosedive, which I would really like to watch again and again and again because it's very interesting. But Pepe was one. Pepe is something that's probably outperforming most of the market right now. It looks really good. And on stream, we've been talking about this level, right? And we finally got that buy order there. And there really seems for now that there's no really slowing down on Pepe. I mean, we're coming into our second take profit area, which is this red zone. And I think we're going to see a little bit of a squeeze, a little wipe off here. And I think this is where Pepe is going to really, is this the end of this relief rally, or are we going to start, continuing to tackle the range high, sitting slightly higher at about 18.5? I mean, I'm not going to say all the zeros, but I think Pepe is one that really does look strong in comparison to most altcoins and most meme coins. But yeah, for me, this was pretty much just a price action chart where we had this push to the new low. Then we had this bounce here, and this obviously being created with this liquidity grab over here. I saw this as a potential higher low. Obviously grabbing some there. I did expect it to come all the way back down here again, to be completely honest with you, but luckily we were able to jump in a little bit there, breaking outside of this falling wedge. And to me, right now at least, I don't think Pepe is planning on slowing down anytime soon. But yeah, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this.
From my side, I would say Pepe is pretty much midway through the range. I'll treat this as the predominant range. So you got this as the range high, that is the range low. Yes, of course, you do have a further top over here, but let's just focus on what's relevant for price action right now. Obviously, you had this push down. It almost tagged into the key level that I'd marked off. I'm just going to read the last digits, 10,420. Oh, how ironic, 10,420 over there. Typical meme numbers with the 420, but you would have missed that. So ultimately the next candle would have been the opportunity to get in once you saw demand come into the market. Stop would have gone below the bottom of the range. I wouldn't have scaled full size in here because I would still be expectant at the time that maybe it would have done something like this and come back in. So I probably would have only had about 1/5 of my order entered in at this point, and then ultimately looking at this range zone over here. So let's just quickly grab the fib tool. If you're treating that as the top of your range and that is the bottom, you can see we're just about to come into that 50% level, which is coming in again. The last digits over there is going to be 14,368. So is what I have the last 5 digits, 14,368. I expect a bit of a reaction from this zone, but a reaction is just a reaction, not necessarily a nuke, maybe something like that, a little bit of a pullback, and then that would be a chance to get in. On the next attempt, it probably starts to push through towards the top side over there. What do you guys see? Mo, I guess it's your turn.
Yeah, just let me know if the charts are clear.
Let me put up full down. There we go.
Yeah, so this is what exactly we were talking about. It's just like, again, the dive knows, and this is where exactly the price it came back. But you can see how exactly like the price reacted from here and how it ran. Now it's just simple on Pepe. You are again forming clusters over clusters, and the price it's moving in an uptrend. So I won't trade it. Actually, if I'm gonna find, like, let's say another consolidation or a retrace, like let's say to this level, and then yeah, I think we will be somehow reaching this level, and we will evaluate from here. But you can see like how exactly the price it's moving. Even on a daily basis, it's not that like bad, but the price it's just like printing again green candles, and just like it's moving in clusters. And it's better just when you are like looking for such a stuff. Yeah, I have this bearish candle. I will see how exactly the price is reacting when I'm just reaching here. But yeah, that's how it takes you. Like, again, it's just the same pattern. It repeats every time when you are taking it just like a cluster above cluster, and just like we move in the same pattern. So yeah, I'm not sure about like higher highs or again back to the highs and all these kind of things. I'm not sure about it. It's just a very new coin, so we'll see how exactly it's going to react. But this is pretty much like this is a resistance area, and this consolidation also it's going to be a resistance area.
Mo, do you think for everyone, like obviously trying to, catch a little bit on these meme coins, do you think it's too late for Pepe? You think it's done the most of its run?
Well, actually, no. Usually how exactly these meme coins, they pump, and when they pump, they really pump hard, right? So the thing that you can see like how the price it reacted here, but this is again like it might have again more and more runs, especially if we're going to keep consolidating in this boring market. Usually what exactly happening that the money it's going to like go to other alts and other meme coins. And this is like I spoke even to Kylie about it many times, and I spoke to you about it like Josh many times, that even when I'm looking to short the market now, I don't think that it's the time to short the market nowadays. you can be just like really picky with what exactly you are choosing in terms of like, yeah, I'm like, as an example, shorting LTC or BNB or Matic or can be like BCH, can be MKR, but rather than these coins, like why you're gonna short it? Like why you're gonna short Phantom if it's consolidating next to the bottom? So it doesn't make sense, right? So the money in a way or another, yeah, absolutely, it can move to these coins, but again, just stick to the clusters. If you see the price, it keeps moving higher and higher. Just again, join this move till it's gonna end. That's how I see it. It's as simple as this.
Yeah, cool. One thing I want to bring up is 𝗪𝗲. What do you guys think of 𝗪𝗲? I mean, this coin has just done so well throughout the entire year, outperforming pretty much everything within the market. And typically you want to play the coins that have strength. I'm busy going through my list, so if you guys think I'm not looking you in the eye, it's because I'm just scrolling through looking for opportunities if there is anything. Remember in the comment section to let us know if there's something that's right in the zone right now, which could be a potential trade that we could take right now on stream. Let us know. Otherwise, I'm busy scouring through the list as well, looking for some opportunities. But yeah, what do you guys think of 𝗪𝗲? Do you have that on your list?
Yeah, we do have it. I think it's very close from maybe topping out, so we'll see how exactly it's gonna happen. But you have a lot of clusters that like every single consolidation here is gonna like play as a support. But again, what exactly you need to look at it, it's just like maybe a downtrend that it's gonna keep playing in this way, and you couldn't like, let's say, buy it here. But I'm not sure if it's even available, by the way, on derivatives. I never longed it or shorted. I never even like, let's say, bought it on spot. But that's the thing, like this move, it can tell you like, yeah, now the moves to the upper side started getting like, let's say, weaker and weaker, and this is where exactly you will be looking somehow that, okay, either a deviation or a double top or an M pattern. So we'll see how exactly it goes. But
yeah. I'll try bring up my chart in just a second. Let me just quickly draw this line, because on 𝗪𝗲, this is on the daily time frame, so more again for like investors. As Mo just said, it's probably not yet on any derivatives exchanges. I think it's got limited exchanges, but you can see over here the way that price topped on the 2nd of April. So I'll just zoom into that level. Obviously strong reaction over there. You got this wick, which led to a major sell-off, eventually came back in there, failed that level once again. And now we've got above that level, well, had a big reaction off, reaccumulated, big push through, strong candle. And then you see the perfect retest into that zone. This candle came in at exactly 0.041 on the price chart. So I'd be looking for a potential range to accumulate over here. This is what I'd be thinking for 𝗪𝗲. If you can kind of hold this level as a range, anytime it comes into the range low over here, I'd look for opportunities and reactions off of that 0.041 level, going basically long off here and just TPing at the top. And if it can continue to do that for quite some time, I'll see this as quite a big SR flip region, but lose that level and things start to change very, very quickly. So just drawing it out, this is kind of what I'll be looking for. Just price to reaccumulate over here, create another strong base defending this level, and then potential can go up. But remember, this coin has absolutely pumped. So the guys that got into this coin early may start to look to take profits. And if they do, well, you're obviously looking for a major breakdown. That breakdown would be to get underneath the zone again, which is clearly a very key level. So that's under the 0.040 zone. And then hold underneath that, and then you can retarget towards the 200-day moving average and the main trend as a mean reversion play. So if this is the mean, you'd be taking it as a mean reversion play and then see what happens from there. That's what I'm looking at over there.
Notice something pretty interesting as well on 𝗪𝗲. I don't generally look at tokens that are like in price discovery to the upside. I think it's very dangerous trying to, find good short positions or even long at this point. I think might be a little bit overextended to the upside. But what I do find interesting, and for anybody who is purchasing 𝗪𝗲, I have like this very tight invalidation where you can clearly see this trend starting to form over here, which came in, I mean, pretty perfectly with the retest of this previous high. But for me, this is the kind of thing that you want to be holding if you're still looking at this as a potential buy, right? I think losing this level obviously increases your likelihood of retesting this, probably sweeping down again. But this is kind of like Carl says in a lot of his shows, it's the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. So for me,
exactly,
as long as Casper holds this trend line over here, I mean, it just could continue pushing up to the upside.
If it broke that trend line now that you have there as well, that would bring it underneath that range level that I've just shown, which would confirm the likely breakdown from there. So I think, yeah, as long as it holds above that level and you're in Casper, you may as well keep holding it.
I think, yeah. So this kind of, can you trade this token anyway? I see it on 𝗪𝗍𝗪, but I don't know if
KuCoin, yeah, KuCoin, 𝗪𝗍𝗪. There's smaller exchanges.
So I think, yeah, so when I talk about this trend line, I actually think it sets up a pretty dangerous type of scenario because, you know, looking back at what Mo said about FTM, right? It's like at that support region, you don't, I mean, it's a very simple rule in trading is you never short into support. And I think breaking this level here, I'm worried that a lot of people start pushing into short positions here because obviously that now seems like the trend break going directly.
But I don't think you can short it. Hey, I don't think there's any derivatives on it.
Yeah, there's no derivatives on it.
But, yeah.
And often, guys, by the way, those are the coins that pump the most is because there is no derivatives. Nobody can take out short trades. You're basically just buying spot or selling into cash, and that's it. And therefore, it creates a lot of upward buying pressure. Like obviously now you have Hex with the SEC and everything, but that was one coin that did over 10,000 X in 2 years. I mean, that is mind-boggling, and one of the big reasons is because there was nowhere to short it. Then they listed on OKX. I think now you can short it there on derivatives, and look at where the price is now.
Kyle, I wanted to ask you, because I started to, you know, one chart that we don't really pay too much attention to lately, but it's actually in quite a dangerous spot is BNB. I don't know if you have BNB
now. Let me bring it up in a bit. I just noticed this as well. There's obviously Curve. Curve is kind of in an interesting level. So I'm just, again, moving methodically through the entire list to look for things that I always try to find things that are near the extremities, either right at the bottom of the range low or range high. The closer to the invalidation, the easier the obviously trade opportunity is. So here's Curve. We know that we had the whole Curve incident where the founder was possibly going to get liquidated. We did short this, by the way, right off of there. It was public on the show, everything. We wrote it all the way down to the bottom. I said I'd close that and look for more of a long opportunity. Just looking at this now, let's kind of just draw out some levels and see how that fits in. Okay, so I just kind of when I look at the charts, I just look for, you know, the lines of best fit. I would say that's been the overall trend for the time being. And you can see clearly how prices reacted at these range lows. This is the ultimate low at 32.8 cents. So there could be a potential long opportunity over here if you see price come back to this wick. Mo, in a bit, I'll ask you to talk about the 50% of the wick level. This is something that you see often happen when you have a big wick, especially when it's at a key level of support or resistance, a major range high or range low. Then oftentimes you will see that this wick will get refilled, right? 50% of that level price may come back into. So I think I'm probably going to put Curve on my watch list for something like this. If I see something like that and it starts to hold that level, I'll probably take a long trade on here and I'll place my stop underneath that wick. And then I'll ride this up maybe towards the breakdown levels, the first level of interest. If it gets above that, well, great. This could be a zone where it starts to reject, but get above that. And then you're obviously contending with this. And then if you get above there, well, ultimate take profit would be at the top there. So that's something that I'm watching. I think Curve should be on the watch list for the coming week. What do you guys think? And then we'll go into BNB, Josh.
Yeah, for Curve, I don't know, like I'm a little bit unsure about the whole narrative and the whole sentiment around Curve right now. I think for me, it's a little bit too dangerous to trade something like that. I really don't understand what could happen to the token. But just by the way, people are spamming in the chat. You know, Casper is actually derivative trading. It's available. I saw that. I see that now.
Okay, I wonder when it launched. It must have been pretty recent.
Yeah, it does say like it's got a little news symbol next to it.
Yeah, must be brand new. Okay, let me go on to BNB. So BNB, we're currently in a short. Let's just quickly get my screen up there. There we go. We're currently in a short. this is when we took the curve short. You'll remember a couple of weeks ago on the show, I gave a whole bunch of longs. I think there was about 7 longs, and we took 2 shorts to hedge against those longs. These shorts curve obviously played out in the entirety of the move, and now we're looking at BNB. BNB is an overall hedge against the whole market. The reason that I say that is because if the market had to nuke from here, it's probably going to be because of something around BNB, which is why we took the short. Very, very simple pattern play over here. Obviously, we caught below the 200-day moving average, and then we had a picture-perfect bear flag. Now, obviously, this is going to have an expiry point. If it continues to consolidate sideways over here, it will have a time expiration where it's probably not going to play out. It's already arguably beyond that point, but ultimately, if you start to break on BNB below this 228.8 level, it starts to get very, very dangerous. And if that bear flag played out, you're looking at about 133, which is a 47% move to the downside. You have to ask yourself, what's going to happen to the rest of the market if BNB, which holds such a massive weighting, were to go down 47%? It's probably going to be DOJ filing against BNB, where basically they're going to be suing CZ, and he's in big, big trouble. But we're not at that point yet, right? It's still holding over here. It's holding above. And I would definitely move this stop into break even. So you heard it here first. Don't cry to me if you're in a BNB short and you get wrecked. This has been in profit for quite some while. The only fees that you're incurring are obviously the funding rates for holding the short position open. We had the swing failure pattern, came back under, and that's what we're holding. That's what I see on BNB. I wouldn't want to long it personally. I just think there's just better things out there. Why play games with BNB when we know they're in the spotlight with the SEC and potentially the DOJ? But yeah, what do you guys think?
I agree. I'm in swing short on BNB from 280 level. I still believe like 140 is on the table on a higher time frame. Still, it's like creating bearish price action. I don't see like long opportunities here. Actually, it's just like whenever I'm getting an opportunity on adding to the swing short, I'm just like adding on it. Again, for me, like what was recently, it was CRV that I took it with you, Kylie. It was LTC, Litecoin, and BNB, Matic short. That's what exactly I'm shorting, and now MKR. But pretty much, yeah, BNB, I'm still like looking, because look at the higher time frame, you're gonna find that it's almost like a bear flag, right? But again, the same action of exactly we are talking about, a leg down and then a consolidation and then another leg down. So pretty much.
I just want to share this quick, Josh, before you go in, just while Mo was on his thought track over there. Obviously, you can see, yes, it's still within this flag. It's still creating lower highs throughout. If you are not in the short, and let's say hypothetically speaking, you wanted to take a short right now, I would probably go for something like this. Stop would go just above here. I mean, from a risk to reward perspective, you could still target the same trade. You could obviously, this is a big trade, guys. You have to ask yourself, what's the probability of it playing out? We would say that the probability is low, and we'd hope that it would remain low because it's going to damage the overall crypto market. It's simply insurance. It's a hedge, right? That's the reason we have it. If you wanted a tight stop, it would be here. But otherwise, technically speaking, I mean, you're still looking at a 4.82 to 1 risk to reward ratio trade if you took it late. The trade that I initially gave right here on the swing failure, you could still technically take it here. And from a RR perspective, it's a worthwhile trade. But yeah, Josh, go. Let's see yours.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty particularly bearish on BNB. I think just structurally what you are seeing here, I mean, besides the massive break of trend, I'm just trying to find my mouse. Besides this massive break of trend that you had over here, you're now starting to pull down, consolidating to like this little flag where, I mean, all likelihood does present that it is going to break to the downside here, and we're at least going to start visiting that $220 level again. So for me, I think that's a pretty good short. Carl, don't you want to take it on stream for us, sir?
No, I don't think so. I don't want to take the short because I already have it on a different account. So I don't want to be overexposed. It's moving too slow. It's not a competition type of trade. The only trades I'm taking are more for the competition. So full disclosure on my positions within the market, this is essentially what I have. Predominantly, I have a big spot long on Bitcoin, I have not diversified that into Ethereum or anything else, even though I actually think Ethereum looks pretty good. So if I go into Ethereum over here, I don't think it looks too bad from a swing perspective. Because you ultimately have this. I got that $1,800 marked out as a very, very key level, which we already did wick into that zone, kind of front running the 200-day moving average, which is no surprise to me. There's a real possibility that we won't actually tag it and price could start to run. But we need an overall bid from the market. The market is getting very, very exhausted and very, very tired, and a lot of people are leaving crypto. I've actually already started to see YouTube thumbnails of people who are prominent influencers within the space saying that I'm quitting crypto, sort of thing, and that's oftentimes when you need to be paying the most attention, when the volatility is at extremely low levels, which is what you can see over here. This is the BBWP. It's basically an indicator that shows the width percentile of the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands can be utilized to gauge momentum within the market, and it has already started to fire off a signal. It can come back down. There's a possibility that you'll see something like this where it might squeeze into that level once again. But as this is picking up, Bollinger Bands are expanding. When you get above the 10 percentile mark historically, that's where you see the big moves take place. This is something that I learned years ago from Eric Crown. So Crown's, I think it's his developer that created this. If you want to find it, it's over there by, his name's Caretaker. Just type in BBWP, the Caretaker, it's over there. It's a great indicator. You kind of want to utilize that in combination with major areas of support and resistance, and you want to utilize that with overall trend, right? So if the trend is up and you have the RSI, which is trending up, currently it is trending up, that's a moving average for the RSI. If there's some sort of reversion off of that and it continues to bounce up and most of your pivot levels are moving towards the upside whilst this expansion takes place, well, then you're looking at an upside move. So that's kind of to answer the question I have. I do have a leverage position shorting BNB, but my main position right now is still a long on Bitcoin, and I'm going to just continue to be patient and hold that for a bit longer.
I think what's really interesting about this market is, when you start to see the volatility, it starts to you start to look at things that you not normally pay close attention to, in like when the market's moving and stuff. And I know, obviously, I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything, but you've been filming Whale Score, and it's a lot of the topics that I kind of really took for granted and stuff like that. And it's like learning so much just watching. Just a small promo there for you. And I think what that volatility indicates is that there is a big move coming in on Bitcoin. I think to the upside, I'm not necessarily thinking, okay, this is the start of a bull market. If that volatility starts to expand and Bitcoin moves to the upside, I do think that the danger, however, is to the downside. I think that if Bitcoin does, and I'm sure you guys can agree with, if Bitcoin does start to lose that 28.2 and stuff like that, then, volatility expanding at that same time could, we could start to visit 25K again. We could start to visit 22K again even.
Sure, that risk is definitely there. I just want you to focus on where the 200 EMA and MA are rising up towards that 27,200-ish level. So very, very key level. I'd say if you get some sort of reversion back into that, personally, I'll definitely be bidding that. But obviously, if you break that level and hold below, then it's not going to be looking good. Let me just turn off the indicators over here, and then you can see also a more crisp and clear level. I personally think that the market makers like to get people most excited, and the most excitement probably kicks in above this level over here, around that top of the range high. If it starts to look like a breakout above this level, who knows how high this goes. For all we know, it could even get to the top of that rising parallel channel. This is where I'd be really considering major profits and then watching to possibly get back in based on a reversion back to that level to retest it to see if it is a true breakout. And if it obviously deviates, well, then it could go much lower. So that's a big question. Is this trend going to continue? It's been a beautiful, perfect trend to see. And this is where you'd expect, the logical point would be here to create the next high low. But in all fairness, this is from where the trend started. So that's touch point 1, touch point 2, touch point 3. We know that each time that you come into one of those zones, it does become a weaker and weaker level. If you lose that, well, then I'll be looking down towards 25K as the next level of interest. And then this is where real trouble sets in from my side. If you start to break below those lows, that won't be looking good. Well, you start to open up the possibility that you're going within a greater range. But it's not my base case. I think it's a very small probability. And if you understand real price action structure, you would know that these levels should be defended, especially this level over here. I don't expect to see price go back down there. If it does, you bring in much lower targets, and you could damage the overall structure that's been so beautifully developing within the crypto market. And if you just look at this over here, you can see obviously big move up, consolidation towards the downside, big move up, consolidation towards the downside. Momentum is slowing, because this was the first time that you saw the move was not as big, and now the momentum's just been coming down. But I still think base case there could be one more big push up above 32,600. That's where I'm playing it. The spot position that I've held, I had 50% entered when we broke back into the range over here at about 18,200. Price went up, shaved some profits, went 100% in over here. I'll be looking to take full profits in this region. That's how I'm playing the market right now.
Mo, do you want to share something?
Yeah, from my side, I spoke to Kyle about it many times, like on what exactly we have on BTC. The only thing that I took a chance to short, which it was 31,600 level. I shorted Bitcoin because for me, like again, just like the way how exactly it's forming, yeah, there is still absolutely a potential for a one leg up. I think it might be somehow linked to the ETF if it's going to get approved or if it's not going to get approved. But whatever it is, how you're going to look at it, it's simply the whole movement on BTC through all these levels. It's just like a range movement. Like here, it was like a range. We got like a impulsive move and then a retest, and then again another impulsive move, and then another retrace or a retest. But still, under this level, still we are talking about just like a range environment and nothing like really big. If we are talking about, it could be another leg. One more leg up here, but for me, again, I totally agree with you on the level of 28,200, 28,400. That's like a level that I don't want to see Bitcoin losing it. If we're gonna get like I believe a rejection for Bitcoin ETF, we might see the massive correction. So the best part for me as a trader is just like, okay, I can take like, let's say a swing short. For me, still again, the moment that I see like, let's say a downtrend, always I would like let's say to get the swing short. And the moment that I start see like, let's say an acceptance above pivotal levels, this is where exactly I close the short, but I will take profits like all the way down. But here it's the same thing. What's exactly different here, that usually when you see Bitcoin price, if it's gonna lose like a major level, which it was like a 29,700, usually you see like, let's say impulsive move or a massive correction, but it didn't happen. Still, you see it like that it's consolidating under the range, and this is where exactly I'm leaving like, let's say a room for another leg to the upper side. But anything like, if I'm gonna talk about it, it's just like impulsive move and all these kind of things. No, it's just like a short squeeze that it happened here. And yeah, maybe there will be another move up here, or it will not. We'll see. But you need to take it in both ways, like up and down. That's how exactly you need to trade it.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think that we should wrap it up. Unless you have any closing thoughts, I think that we've been through a whole lot today.
I think, I'll just wrap it off with one thing. I wanted to kind of give a chart just before the end of the show, and someone just brought it in, so they kind of reminded me. Just from my side, the one trade I am looking at currently, and I did buy some spot, I'm looking at CFX. So I just wanted to give that trade just to my closing piece. I think that CFX has had some massive accumulation around that 18-cent region. Just building and building. You can see historically, if you track back here, you can see what a solid level this has been previously. Now just tracking and accumulating at that zone with a potential break of the structure here. I think if the market does hold, this is a place I am going to want to be. So I thought, let me just pop in, give that at least one trade set up for everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that the trade setups that seem to be lining up the best today seem to be the CFX. And then if you also look at, let's just quickly bring it up again. We said CFX and Curve as a potential leading into the new week. RUNE, obviously, pay attention to it very closely because there's a lot of volume there right now. So either you're looking to buy any pullbacks on the low time frame as long as structure remains in that uptrend. And then as soon as you start to see a break of structure, that's definitely going to provide a big short opportunity. I think that's about it, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining, Josh. It's an absolute pleasure to finally dox you to the world. Yeah, welcome to the fame and fortunes of YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo. I'm going to go through just a couple of formalities over here just before we finish off. And the formalities are, if you guys are not yet in the trading competition, make sure you go through to the description below. There is all the links below. Sign up to 𝗫𝗿𝗫, get yourself a 𝗫𝗫𝗫 account, and then join the Banter Whale team. It's not too late to join. Just click to register over there, and it will take you through to this page. Ultimately, you can participate in the competition where there's up to $8 million in prizes, which are up for grabs. And I think that is pretty much it. I will see all of you tomorrow for normal shows again next week. Have fun and trade well, my friends.